again and welcome back. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. Today I'm doing a project share on what I did with some of the remainder of the quick cards collection. For those of you that watch regularly, you would have known that I posted a video about 2 weeks ago on the Easter Memories quick cards collection from Paper Rose, where I did 12 cards just from using 6 sheets from this collection. And I mentioned on that video that I thought I would do a banner. Well, I then went away on a cruise, so I took this away with me on the cruise, this kit, and the quick cards die cuts that coordinated with it. And these are the embossed die cuts. And I made the bases to the banner while I was away on the cruise, and then when I got back, I put the banner together. So we'll have a little look through that today, and we'll also have a look at what I've got left in the kit and what I'm going to do with that. So let's pop that to the side and we'll get started. All right, it's a little bit difficult for me to spread this out and show you exactly what it looks like. Banners are very difficult to show on a video and on a photo, but we'll try our best. So you can see here that we have a 7-panel banner, and in between it I have put some ribbon. So we'll start with the first panel and I'll walk through that, and then we'll just step our way through. You can see that on the end of the banner, on both ends, I have a ribbon going all the way through, and I've put eyelets in, and then in between each panel I have put just a little tassel, which is a little cluster of ribbon. So I just went through some scraps in my ribbon scrap bin and pulled out a few things that I had some scraps and a few that weren't. And then I just folded them over and tied them together. And I just put a little button in between as well with some hot glue. Both the end panels match. So you can see here, I sort of worked, I usually always do odd numbers. So I cut one of the sheets, and I've got one left here. I cut this one in half to create the background, and then created 2 different foregrounds on them, but the backgrounds are the same. And I try to do that with the banners that I tend to make. I tend to do the backgrounds the same, working the way through the odd numbers and to a center panel, and then decorate them slightly different in the foreground. So you can see here we have some lovely little bunnies out of the embossed die cuts. We have one of the feature die cuts. I've also cut out a die cut circle with a decorative edge and put it behind it just to get it to pop a little bit. And then I fussy cut out some extra eggs, and I did that out of this sheet here, the one that's got the wood grain on it and the eggs. I just fussy cut out quite a few of the eggs and used them throughout. So we'll have a little look at some of those. Now I'm not sure whether you can see it on the camera, but I've also put in some Paper Rose little crystal gems, which I use quite a bit. So I'm not sure whether that's picking it up. I'll just move it, and I'll bring that up a little bit so you can see a bit closer. So that's the first panel. And then you can see that there's that tassel of ribbons in between, and we move to the next panel. And once again, you can see that I have another one over here that is the partner to that. So here we have the birds and the rejoice die cut and the nest, and I also put some little branches in. I'm not sure whether you can see those. Just down the bottom here, I die cut out, just out of my dies, I just found a branch of some sort, and I die cut out in that buff colour that is mounted behind it. I just cut out some branches and used those. So on each panel, you'll see that we have the feature background with the pattern paper on it. I then have mounted onto a buff or sort of parchment cardboard, and then I've mounted onto white cardstock, and then I've mounted the whole banner is made out of some chipboard. So when I'm cutting up chipboard to do mini albums or to do other projects, I usually end up with some chipboard that's left over. So I usually cut that to a size, so I'll measure that and tell you. So this is 4¼ inches or 10.7 centimeters by 6 inches or 15.3 centimeters. So I usually cut the panels, and I just have a pile of them over on my desk underneath one of my monitors, and I just, whenever I'm cutting up, I cut them to that size, and I've got a bit of a pile of them that I can just cut them out. And I just cut a fishtail on the bottom, and I make a template, and then it makes it quick to make a banner. So we know the size of the banner. It's pretty much 4¼ inches wide by 6 inches high. And then I just go down for each size 1/8 of an inch for each size of the mounting, and I just step it down. So each one then is just stepped down 1/8 of an inch in both directions. And then I put 2 eyelets in the top. You can see the eyelets, and string it together. So once you've got the template made to do your fishtail on each one and the cardboard cut, it makes it much quicker to make a banner. So you can see here that I've basically used the background, and I've also put some of those crystal gems on again, and just mounted it up and decorated it. I've also put a little bit of Winker Stella. It probably is not coming up on the video, but a little bit of Winker Stella onto the bird's breasts, and on this one on its wings. That's that one. And once again, we've got the little cluster of ribbon in between. This one here, so the wood grain background, once again, I've got some of those little branches on it, and I just used one of the die cut tags stapled on a piece of ribbon with my tiny attacher. And this egg here is the same egg that I used in the quick cards when I was making those cards, and it's the paper rose die. It's the egg die from Paper Rose. So everything on here except for the ribbon is from Paper Rose. So the ribbon's a bit of a mismatch of ribbon that I've got from different places on sale. You can see here I also used an egg that was the die cut, and then I've used some of those fussy cut eggs just to beef it out a little bit. And the next one, he's our bunny that is the feature. So I will stretch it out and we'll at the end and show you, but I fussy cut him out. So here he is. I actually fussy cut him out of this panel, and then used the other half of the panel as the background, and repositioned him in a different location, because otherwise if I'd cut the flag out of this, I would have been cutting up into his feet, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted his feet to be on there, and I wanted him to be further up the flag. So I fussy cut him out and then used the other half. And I have put a little bit of Winker Stella on his coat, on his nose and around his eyes and ears, and then just used some of the fussy cut eggs and one of the sentiments. The next one here, we have one of those die cut eggs, using the die from Paper Rose, one of the embossed die cuts with the birds on it, and a couple of those eggs and a branch. You can see that once you've got, especially if you buy the pack from Paper Rose, that additional pack, I usually always buy an additional pack of the die cuts. If you buy that and then you fussy cut out a few bits and pieces out of the collection, you've definitely got plenty to make a banner. And like I said, I still have more left, so you definitely get a lot out of it. All right, you can see here on the next panel that I cut out another circle and put it behind that embossed die cut feature of the birds. I used another little bird and a branch and just an egg. I put some Winkostella on that egg there. And then the last panel, that background that I talked about at the beginning, one of those feature die cuts, I also put that onto a circle just to make it pop a little bit. And I've lifted some of these things off in the foreground. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see that, but some of them are up on a little bit of mounting tape just to get a little bit of dimension on them. And once again, there's a few of those little crystals around and some of those die cut eggs and a little bit of a branch. And then we get to the other end and you can see that I have a slip knot that I've tied just to be able to hang it up, and it will pull undone and be able to be tied to something. So let's put it out. It's not all going to fit in the view, but at least you'll get a little bit of the idea of how it swags. You want your banners to swag. I'll also show you the back. And so you can see on the back, all I've done is I've just mounted it with that buff color just to finish it off. And I've also double-sided taped the ribbon. When it goes through the eyelet, I've double-sided it flat, so it sits flat on each panel to the back. And it also keeps it so that it doesn't get twisted up to so much as well. So let's just gradually work our way through, and I'll slide it across the desk. So we can see here, it swags lovely. And there's our feature bunny in the middle. Continue just to bring it over so that you can see the ones that are off of the view. There we go. It's going to hang up in my kitchen now for the Easter weekend. It's not that long. It's probably, once it's hanging, it's probably around about 1.2 meters once it's swinging, so around about 4 foot long once it's, hanging like a swag. So that's the banner. Now we'll just bring out, for those that are interested, I'll bring out what I've got left in the kit. So like I said, I bought the quick cards. I have already made those 12 cards. So let's have a little look at what I've got left in the kit and what I'll get out of those. So I've already, like I said, I already made those 12 cards. I'll get one card out of that. So that's one. I'll get two, then 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13. Yes, I'll get about another 13 cards out of that, what I have left. And I still have quite a few of the die cuts, because like I said, I always buy an extra kit of die cuts. I probably have about, I think I've got 4 of the circles left and a bit of a mishmash of different things. So I will have got 25 cards and an Easter banner, but I did buy that extra die cut kit. So that's pretty good going, really, for the price. So it's a really good option to be able to make with your quick cards, especially if you're, most of the way through your quick cards and you don't want to make any more cards, or you are thinking, what else can I do with this? It's a good option. You only need, like I said, 3.5 sheets to make this one, 3.5 sheets of your quick cards backgrounds to do the background feature, and then a few bits and pieces to decorate it. So yeah, it's a good for using up some of those scraps of your quick card kits. Yeah, so that's everything for today. If you like the banner, give the video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And think about subscribing to the channel. And I'll be back in a few days' time to show you some other things that I've been working on. Some things that I was doing on the cruise. And yeah, got some other interesting projects coming up. So I'll see you all very soon and have a great weekend celebrating Easter with your family. Happy Easter, everyone. Bye for now.